Lord is his.
Okay.
And by the way, we also have plenty of coffee drinks. We have dinner. We have a lot of food options if you're hungry. And desserts as well. So load up. All right. Here's Andrew.
Thank you. All right. Well, let's get this thing out of the way. Oh, look at there. We got the tether to a pole, man. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Everybody doing well tonight? Yeah. Good. Good. That's a very corny opening joke, but that's what I'm using. I should warn you, I am an excellent kisser. I am. I know that because I took a Facebook quiz that told me so. Sure did. Yep. The hardest part of the quiz, though, was keeping my phone screen clean because it was a kissing test. And I just finished a tuna sandwich. I didn't even pose, man. You gonna take my picture and not let me pose? Oh, come on, Jets. It's that New York rudeness, that's what it is. Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's okay. See, I understand. My wife is from New York. So I completely understand how it is. And that rudeness is a sign of affection, I've been told. I got the bruises to prove it. So, all right. I appreciate it. It's a good thing I'm married. It is, with one exception. My wife likes to set me up on man dates. Dates with her friends' husbands is what it is, really. I don't know why she does that. It doesn't make sense to me. Why she would try to set me up on a man date. I wasn't very good dating in the first place. I really wasn't. I didn't understand the term blind date when I was dating before we got married. I had a blind date. A friend set me up on a blind date. I was like, all right, blind date, great. I guess it doesn't matter what I wear. So I showed up in Batman pajamas. Turns out, blind date does not mean that she's blind. It means that she doesn't know what you look like, and we didn't get a second date. So, but she does like to set me up on these man dates. And she set me up with a friend's husband. His name was Jesse. Now, I'm a big guy. I can't hide it. I'm comfortable with it. This is who I am. I'm a big guy. I know my raw tonnage. I know exactly who I am. My wife set me up with a guy who was twice my size on a man date. So we get in the car, and I drive a little Ford Focus. We had to put cinder blocks in the trunk to keep it from flipping forward, okay? That's how big this guy was. So we go on this man date, and I got some rules for you. If you have to go on a man date, if your wife sets you up on these, be careful the restaurant that you pick. And be careful where they sit you in that restaurant. We got there, they put me and Jesse as his name in a booth across from each other. That was a little bit too intimate for me, so we had to move to another table. Well, to further this fun mandate, he bought movie tickets. And he said, hey, Andrew, I got movie tickets. Let's go see Batman versus Superman. So this is a few years ago. Batman versus Superman. So I was like, all right, let's go see Batman versus Superman. I don't go to a lot of movies. I live in Lawrenceville. The AMC in Lawrenceville, I don't know how it is the theaters out here or anywhere else. The AMC in Lawrenceville has the big plush leather reclining love seats. You don't have to have your chairs. So now, there's me and another big guy, and all of a sudden we have to share a love seat and watch a movie. So we sit there, and I sit down next to him, and it's already uncomfortable. Because we're both big guys, and men can't sit with their legs together, unless you're one. You can't sit with your legs together. We all sit like this. And so he's sitting there next to me, brushed up against me, just creepy. And then he says, hey, Andrew, check this out. The seats recline. And he lays back like this with his feet up, and now he's laying beside me, and he says, hey, why don't you recline yours? Like, no, I like you and all, Jesse, but not that way. We can't do that. So I sat there like this for 3.5 hours trying not to touch him. And then I found out he'd been drinking out of my coat the whole time. Yeah. Well, then he decided, hey, let's do something a little more masculine instead of going to the movie. And he wanted to go shooting. So we're like, all right, let's go shoot something. So we wanted to go to this indoor place down the road. So we went to this indoor place called Bullseye in Lawrenceville. And they have a really nice indoor shooting range. I've never shot a handgun. I grew up in Cherokee County, Ball Ground, Georgia. All right? 1,100 people in Ball Ground, Georgia. If you can't hit them with a rifle or a shotgun, you just can't shoot. So we didn't have handguns, we had rifles and shotguns. So I didn't grow up with those, I grew up with long guns. He grew up with small guns, he grew up in town. So he says, let's go shoot, I'll show you how to shoot my handgun. And 2 or 3 of them. I said, okay, that's fine. We decided he's going to get in the stall with me. Really kind of close, not too tight for my comfort. And that's when I came up with this rule. If you're here and you're married, and your wife ever sets you up on a man date, make sure that you do the traditional wait 3 days before you call the guy. But do it so that you can wash the ickiness off for 3 days before you call the guy. I didn't mention I'm married. I also have kids. My wife and kids are here tonight. And they came to see Daddy tonight because, you know, they've never seen me perform. Which is great because as you can see at that table, they're paying so much attention. They are just enthralled with Daddy's wonderful comedy. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you. But my kids, ever since I've been doing comedy, have been trying to tell me jokes. They want to help Daddy with his act. Okay? So tonight, I told them I would tell one of their jokes from each of them while I was on stage. So I'm taking a departure from my regular stuff here tonight. I'm going to tell you 3 jokes from a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. My 2-year-old, her name is Gracie. I'll tell you her favorite joke. And she wrote this joke herself. Okay? Now this is audience participation. So I need you to cooperate with me when I do this joke, okay? Knock, knock. Down. Get me down out of here. That's her joke. That's a 2-year-old joke. There you go, Gracie. All right. Now, my oldest, she's 6. Her name is Joy. And she said, Daddy, I want you to tell my tomato joke. I said, okay, I'll tell the tomato joke. So this is Joy's tomato joke. All right? Listen to it. Joy's tomato joke. What did the tomato say to the cabbage? Go ahead. I'll catch up. Yeah, see? Yeah, there you go. All right. Finally, my son, who's had more fun watching me on video than actually watching me on stage, is AJ. And he told me his favorite joke. What do you call a bull asleep in the field? A bulldozer. Yeah, there you go, everybody. All right. So there you go. All my dad stuff is done for the weekend. Tomorrow's my day, so we're good. Okay? I will say this, having 3 kids, I do know one thing for sure. Kids are like X-Lax. Have 2 or more, you'll be going all day. Okay? Guarantee it. My wife and I mentioned that she's from New York. She's actually Canadian. She grew up in New York. Her father's Canadian. And when we met, she was living in Austin, Minnesota. We met in college. I did go to college, despite what it may look like. I studied philosophy, which means I don't know a whole lot, but I'm at peace with that. But we met in college in Florida, and we decided we wanted to get married. Almost immediately, I knew I wanted to marry her as soon as I put my binoculars down and got enough chutzpah to walk across the campus and talk to her. And because I was a stalker. And anyway, so we decided we were going to get married. And we wanted to get married somewhere special. But we couldn't afford that, so we got married in Minnesota. And got married in Austin, Minnesota. The town where Spam was invented and is still currently being made. That's right, the whole town smells like potted meat and dead pigs. And we had a wedding outside. It smelled like potted meat and dead pigs. Down the road from the Spam Museum. If you didn't know that place existed, you're probably better off for it. But the Spam Museum is right there by the Hormel plant. It is. You go in there, there's a guided tour of the Spam Museum because that's what you want. And so we get in there and you go through this guided tour of the Spam Museum, and they teach you how to make Spam, and how to can Spam, and how to wrap the Spam cans. Because your life is not complete until you know how they process that stuff. The Spam stands for shoes posing as meat, okay? And that's what it is. And it's $37 and an hour and 15 minutes of your life you will never get back, okay? That's the Spam Museum. They have a Spam gift shop at the end, and that's where we got all of our wedding favors. And that was it. That's the Spam Museum. I've been there 3 times, and I don't remember any of it. But the whole town is decorated in Spam. The whole town. Signs everywhere. Spam Town, USA. They have Spam concerts. They have Spam festivals. The whole place, Spam, Spam, Spam. Even the garbage trucks are wrapped to look like Spam cans. Because that's where they get the ingredients for Spam. Yeah. Everything in that town is Spam. We honeymooned in Nashville, Tennessee. But in order to do that, we had to take a road trip from Austin, Minnesota to Nashville, Tennessee. It took us a couple days to drive. To go from Austin, Minnesota to Nashville, Tennessee, you have to drive through the completely flat state of Iowa. Okay? That's where all the flat earthers get proof for their theory. I'm pretty sure it's got edges. You just fall off the edge in Iowa. But in Iowa, on all the roads, they're always doing construction. A lot like they do here in Atlanta. It's constantly construction. But the signs all say, hit a worker, $250. All it says. I made over $2,000 on the way out of that state, paid for my honeymoon. We have different ideas on how to raise kids. Next month will be our 10-year anniversary. And thank you for all the applause. I appreciate that. All right. I will get it from you if I have to threaten you. Not really. Anyway, so we have 3 kids. We have different ideas on how to raise kids. We grew up in very different households. And she grew up in a little city, not a very big town, in upstate New York, right on the Canadian border. She grew up there. She spent her entire life there. Very safe town, had a safe little playground, nice little town square. She had friends. I grew up in Ball Ground, Georgia, essentially, for lack of a better term, trailer trash. And she grew up in slides, and swings, and seesaws. I grew up jumping on top of the trailer, running from one end to the other, and jumping off with a black trash bag as a parachute, trying not to land in Mama's rose bush. Yeah. One time, my little brother gave me a trash bag that had a hole in it. And I didn't know that. And then he dared me to jump off face first. Now I do comedy. So, yeah, if you're wondering what happened, that's what happened. But I was nervous when we decided to start having kids. I was. I'm not very good with kids, especially little kids. I'm clumsy. I played football in high school, but I was a lineman, which means I didn't have to touch the ball if I didn't want to. Okay? You're a Jets fan. You know about fumbles. All right? So, you'll let me pose next time, won't you? Anyway, so, but no, I didn't have to touch the ball. That was just my thing. I didn't have to. So I was afraid. First time I cradled a baby, it wasn't my own baby. It was my cousin's. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is horrible. I'm going to drop it. Something's going to happen. I didn't hold it very long. I was afraid. But that changed when we had our own kids. I realized if I drop this one, I can just make another. Just like woodshop. Right? My time's almost up because I got up here a little bit late, so I'm going to go ahead and skip to my closing joke, okay? And skip the other stuff. I'll tell you this. First, I got to tell you, I am a Christian. All right, this is a good place. A lot of Christians come here. It's a Christian music all the time. I'm saying I'm a Christian. I'm the assistant pastor of my church. I love doing that. I love telling people that I love them, and I love telling people that Jesus loves them. Except when I get road rage. I do struggle with road rage. I get road rage in Walmart. Okay? And we've all been there. We have all been there. when that little old lady comes out from Walmart and comes out of the aisle in front of you, she didn't see you, and she's pushing her buggy a little slow, trying to reach stuff on the top shelf, and you just got to get around her to get some milk. That's all you got to do. She just, all you want to do is hit her in the back of the heels with your buggy, try to get her to move along. This is the dark humor. You can laugh as much as you want. It's funny. I get terrible road rage like that. I get on the road. I drive for a living. When I'm not, up here being a superhero, I drive a truck. And I deal with road rage and road ragers all the time. And I have a hard time with it. When I first moved back to Atlanta, I had my first encounter with real road rage. I was driving down Harbin's Road. Everybody knows Harbin's